6 years ago, I went through a really heavy breakup. It was my first love. I was really, really in love with that woman at the time. And we decided to part away. And I was not really ready for what was going to happen at the time because I was young, you know, and I didn't really have friends with whom I could share my, vulnerability, the pain I was going through, my emotions and stuff like that.
It gets nowhere, and it's painful.
The first instinct that I had was to win her over, right? And I'm sure you can relate with this because it's not just me, I know that. A lot of guys are doing this. And I started to, meet a lot of girls, right? And I wanted to show her, like, look, I'm okay without you, you know. And deep down, I was feeling extremely depressed, Then I started to do yoga, right? Like physical yoga, not the yoga that I'm doing right now. Because she was a yoga teacher, And I wanted to show her, like, hey, I'm also doing yoga. You see, I'm finally doing it. I started to eat healthy. I started to go to the gym more often. The downside, though, is that I was smoking a lot of cigarettes, about 8 to 10 cigarettes a day. I was drinking alcohol every day. And every single time I woke up in the morning, I was feeling extremely heavy, very heavy. And the first thing I did was what? Coffee and cigarette. Imagine, this is the worst way to start the day. And I mean, at the time it was, amazing and everything. And this went on for a few months, like, proper depression. And after around 4 to 5 months, I started to become suicidal. Like, it was that bad, because I kept on smoking, kept on drinking alcohol, kept on fucking so many girls. I never had this much sex in my life. It was just so crazy, but I was empty, like really empty inside. And there was one night where I really wanted to jump out of the window. And I lived in one building on the 4th floor. So I let you imagine what could have happened if I would have jumped out of the window. And what stopped me to jump out of the window was this meditation that I've learned, very recently at the time. It's called metta meditation. You can look it up on the internet. It's also a meditation that I teach in my free course. You can click on the link down below in the description. It can help you with many things, feeling more happy, feeling more peaceful, and also like removing approach anxiety. That's why I teach it. So at the time, I wanted to use it because I was really at the bottom, I was about to end it all, And I remember at that moment, for whatever reason, because really like the only thoughts that I had in my head at the time was to just jump, But something popped. We could say it's God. I don't know, honestly, but it happened, right? And if you don't know the metta meditation, basically you have to choose an object of meditation. So that can be yourself, that can be the person you love the most, that can be someone you hate, that can be someone you don't know, etc., etc. And when you have chosen that object of meditation, you give love to this object of meditation, right? So it's very easy to do it for someone you love the most, right? But if you do this meditation towards someone you hate, it's a different story, right? And at that time, I was very resentful towards my ex. I hated her, I thought she cheated on me, and a bunch of other things that I'm not going to share here, but really I was bitter. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try this metta meditation on her, right? So I closed my eyes, imagined her, and started to feel all the emotions, it was really tough. And I started to repeat these mantras and, basically giving her love, right? I did this for 5 to 10 minutes. And after the meditation, the desire to end it all just gone completely and never came back. Never, ever came back. And I started to feel this like compassion for her, but at the same time, I was not attached anymore, right? I was not trying to seek her validation. I didn't feel that, right? I just loved her for who she was, right? But I was not in love with her. And something absolutely shifted because the next day I decided to stop meeting girls. I decided to stop having sex. I reduced the alcohol. I stopped doing yoga as well. you know, like all the things that I was doing to get her validation, to show her like, hey, look, I'm cool. I stopped doing this. The only thing that I kept on doing was the smoking. It took me a little bit more time to eventually stop. This very practice of imagining her and giving her love really helped me. So that's why I want to share this video. Because I know if you're still watching at this point, you're probably going through a breakup. Maybe you have been going through a breakup. And maybe you still feel a little bit of pain, right? You still feel like, oh, I hope she could come back in my life. But you also know that it's over, right? It's just not going to happen, right? And you would like to let her go, you would like to move on, but you don't know how to do it, right? Who am I to talk about this? Well, I went through this experience, and then the next breakup I had, because obviously I had other breakups, it's sad to say, but it's like this, the next breakup, the way I handled it was much better. And my life was not destroyed. I didn't sabotage all the things that I have achieved, and it was much healthier. So I know a thing or two about this. So the first thing you want to really do when you go through a breakup is to take time for yourself. Like slow down with everything, slow down with work, slow down with whatever you need to do, slow down and have moments with yourself. Right? That can be a moment alone at home where you cook for yourself. That can be a moment where you go for a walk in your city. That can be a moment where you go for a hike in the mountain and you go camping and you stay 2 days in the nature. You really be with yourself, right? The worst thing you can do when you go through a breakup is to start working really hard on your business, is to start going to the gym 7 times a week, like literally every day, to smoke cigarettes, to drink alcohol, to go to the bar, to have sex with many girls. This is not going to help you to move on. It's just not going to help you because it's just a bandage that you're putting on a wound. The wound is still there and the bandage is not going to heal it. You need to take care of the wound. Just putting a piece of paper is going to do nothing. So smoking, alcohol, bars, fucking girls, business, going to the gym. Calm down with this. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to the gym. I'm not saying you shouldn't work on your business, blah, 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 right? You can, but really pay attention to if you're doing it from a place of avoiding the emotion, avoiding the pain, trying to feel better, or are you doing it because you genuinely want to go to the gym, you genuinely want to focus on your business, make more money, right? If that's the case, cool, go ahead, right? But really pay attention to this. When you're done with this, spending time with yourself, what you need to do is to process the emotions. And this is where most guys stop, actually. They don't want to do this. They don't want to cry, right? Too much pride about crying. But at the same time, you're sad. She's not in your life. You have to grieve, my brother. If you don't allow yourself to grieve her loss, the grief is still going to be in your body and it's going to be stored, right? And then I don't want to go too much into the details, but a lot of things can happen from that. You will develop behaviors to avoid the sadness, right? Coping mechanism, shadows, which will make your life worse in so many different ways. So allow yourself to feel the anger. Allow yourself to resent her. Allow yourself to feel sad. All of these emotions that are boiling up in your body, let them out. So for example, at the time, what I was doing was bioenergetic. So again, you can look that up. I'm not the inventor of bioenergetic. And it's basically a way to process your emotions through your body. So you can process the anger, right? By yelling like super out loud, super crazy, right? You can process the sadness by allowing yourself to cry, the resentment by hating her and all of that. Like really go deep into it. Go deep into that emotion and feel it out, right? But it's not done, because when you have felt your emotions, cool, but you can end up feeling your emotions forever, right? Because the emotions are always going to be there. Maybe after 10 years they will be gone and they will manifest in different ways, but you're always going to have emotions. Sadness is part of life, anger is part of life, resentment is part of life. That's what makes us human. Nothing wrong with having emotions. But this is where the shift needs to happen, right? Okay, you felt the emotions, great. Now you need to find compassion for her, for your ex. You need to find compassion for the relationship that you had. You need to find compassion for the breakup. You need to find compassion for you being alone right now. Yeah? So this is what I did back then. Like, I'm literally sharing what I did. Like, this is not me pulling this out of my ass or from reading a book. This is me sharing to you my experience of like moving on from a breakup, not having to go through the pain for years on end. Because you guys know, like, when you go through a breakup, you can keep the pain for years, man. And how fucked up is that? It's like she's still in the background when you're not together for such a long time. Why does she have to be in the background still? Let her go, right? So here, the technique is super simple. Take a piece of paper, and really a piece of paper, or a Kindle Scribe, right? Or the Remarkable, whichever you like. You take that piece of paper, and I want you to write down 50 things, I'm not kidding, 50 things that you're grateful for her, for your ex. What are you grateful for your ex? 50 things. Go deep into it, my brother. I don't want you to stop at 10. 25 minimum, right? 50 the best. Personally, at the time I did 100, right? I went like super deep into being grateful. And as you write these things down, right? Like that you're grateful for your ex, for her being part of your life, start to feel the compassion. Like, fuck, I'm genuinely grateful for having had her in my life. I hope this is the right way to say it. I'm not English speaker, I'm French. But I'm sure you understand. So like really feel the compassion for her. When you're done with that, feel the compassion by writing 50 things that you're grateful for about the relationship, right? So go deep into the gratitude and the compassion, the love for the relationship you had. And it doesn't matter what happened, brother, okay? Okay, you've been cheated on. I've been cheated on as well. I did this exercise. I don't care how nasty she was for you. Find some reasons to what you're grateful for about the relationship, right? And start feeling the compassion in your heart as you write down all these reasons that you're grateful for about the relationship. When you're done with that, you move on to the breakup. What are you grateful for about the breakup? And same thing, you start feeling the compassion, the gratitude, the love, and you start feeling excited about the breakup, right? Can you see how it's moving? This is the beauty of this exercise. And then, last piece, 50 things about being alone right now. And again, you go deep into it, you start feeling the love, the compassion, the gratitude, and something is going to explode here. Because you're going to realize that you can love her. You can have love for her. At the same time, you don't have to be attached to her. You don't have to seek her validation. You don't have to show her how cool you are. You live your life, brother. She's gone. It's okay. You had your moments together. You had beautiful moments. But now she's gone, and it's time to move on. And you can be grateful for that. This is it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, okay? I'm not saying it happens in one day. It's going to take time to let her go, okay? And take it slow. Like, don't try to do this exercise in one day. Like, really take your time. And you will see that if you do these 3 things, it's going to change the game. because this is literally how you process a breakup with your ex. Thank you for watching. If you need some help with attracting one date opportunity every week with your ideal woman, there is a free course available, and in this free course there is the meta meditation, like I said, and it's really a whole framework that I teach you to be more masculine, to be more confident, so that you can attract a woman you like every week. This is the goal of the course. So you can get it if you want. If not, all good. And I see you when I see you, my brother.